The last company present here is Jason Gilham with Impossible Metals.
Great. So as introduced, my name is Jason Gilham. I'm the Chief Technology Officer and Chief Operating Officer for Impossible Metals. Similar to Matt's presentation from the metals company yesterday, we're another company talking about deep sea mining, specifically polymetallic nodules. So I'm going to talk through a little bit higher level, a little bit about the industry and deep sea mining in general, because it may be something that people in this mining sector has less awareness of. So really want to talk through the problem, the resource itself, how the regulation is coming along, the technology, in particular others' technology, as well as what we're developing at Impossible Metals, and then really how that fits into the future. So first, the problem, and Gordon did a great job really outlining this yesterday and again this morning, so I don't need to talk a lot about this, but really there is this critical metal shortage and shortfall that we as a community need to solve, and that really is the mission that we get up every day to work on at Impossible Metals. But in addition, there are time costs for permitting and getting new mines online to solve that, as well as the controlling stakes and the opportunity for geopolitical challenges that we're trying to solve as well. So moving on to the resource, three main things I'll talk about here. The vast majority of known reserves of nickel, cobalt, and manganese are in the ocean. Polymetallic nodules is the resource that we're going after. These are potato-sized rocks just sitting on the ocean floor, and they are very high grade, and that grade has high confidence when we are going to do our mine planning. So first, in terms of the amount of material that's there, the ocean really has enough material to solve that critical mineral shortage issue. There is 3 times as much nickel in the ocean than terrestrial reserves that we know about. 10 times more cobalt in the ocean than we know about for terrestrial reserves, and 5 times more manganese. And so again, just the opportunity to have this resource solve some of that critical resource challenge is substantial. The resource, as shown in Matt's video yesterday, you can see a picture of it on the right. These are potato-sized, I call them rocks a lot, but they technically are accretions, so they've grown over time. But they're these sort of spheroid rocks that are sitting all over the ocean floor and exist in a number of different areas around the world. The sort of blue-gray sections in the oceans, those are all of the different areas where these nodules have been found. Now, not only are they there and accessible, but they're an extremely high grade. When taking into account credit for secondary material in the nodules themselves, it is over a 4% nickel equivalent grade for these materials, which is unheard of for new terrestrial sources coming online. But not only is it a very high grade material, we have a lot of confidence in that grade. A nodule that I pick up here is going to have the same metallurgy as every nodule that I pick up within kilometers of this location. So there isn't any sort of guessing in terms of what's ahead of us. So we now understand that's the resource, but how do we get access to it? And obviously access always comes through regulation. So I want to talk a little bit about environmental concerns, the international waters and territorial waters where these nodules are found, and then the exploration and exploitation pathways. We're learning every time we go out as an industry more and more about this, the deep ocean. There are some fascinating creatures down there. There is really a lot that we need to learn and continue to learn about the deep ocean, and the regulations that are coming online need to be able to protect that ecosystem that is down there. So one of the important things here is that all waters are regulated. There's really 2 different regulatory regimes. There's nation states. Nations such as the Cook Islands have regulations that are in place for exploration and coming online with exploitation. And then other countries such as India and Japan are talking about it, as well as a number of other countries that have nodules within their territorial waters are able to set up the regulators for their territorial water. Within international waters, that is regulated by an organization called the International Seabed Authority. The 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea established the ISA, the International Seabed Authority, to be the regulator and set those rules, and they have progressed regulations. So for exploration regulations, there have been 22 issued permits within international waters, as well as 3 within the Cook Islands, and regulations are for exploitation can be coming online as early as next year from the ISA. So there is a pathway that could be in place as early as next year for actually going and collecting this material. So we understand what the resource is, how to gain access to it. What Impossible Metals is really working on is the technology to then go and be a core differentiator for us in terms of going and collecting this. So I'm keen to talk about environmental concerns with the more suction-based technologies that were used in the 70s, and then what Matt's company, what the metals company and others are looking at using now. Talk about the alternative which we're developing at Impossible Metals, and really the superior economics that come from the technology that we're developing. So this is an example showing some of the dredge-based system that they're using. So this is a tracked vehicle, like a bulldozer, that is driving over the seabed using suction heads that are at the front of the vehicle, sucking those nodules up, really sucking everything up that's in front of it indiscriminately, life and otherwise, as well as creating a large sediment plume behind it as it goes and collects. And so that certainly has environmental concerns and risks that are needing to be understood and that we're trying to avoid with some of what we've developed. What we've developed is what we call selective harvesting. And so this uses an autonomous vehicle that drives or hovers over the seafloor as we travel along, collecting these nodules. It's using computer vision and AI at the front of the vehicle to identify where is the nodule, where is any life, and then individually pick these up in order to really minimize any ecosystem impacts. In addition, we're able to leave percentages of nodules completely undisturbed, maintaining a preservation of that ecosystem throughout. And really, because of that lack of knowledge that we have of the deep sea ecosystem, not only do we believe regulation and technology needs to be in place to protect what we know about, but we really need it to be developed and implemented in a way to protect what we also don't know about. And that's really what the focus of this technology has been for us. And then the last and in a lot of ways most important part is the economics. Land-based mines today have per nickel equivalent capacity anywhere from relatively low up to towards $2,000 per nickel equivalent ton that's pulled out, where we see deep sea mining having superior economics to that, not only for the suction-based systems, but in particular for the selective harvesting solution that we're facing. And the low all-in sustaining costs for a mine really can put these into the top quartiles to ensure that we have price robustness against price sensitivity. So then the future, in particular for Impossible Metals, where we're at today, we've built that system that you saw, which was our smaller scale prototype system. The next system following the close of our Series A in 2025 will be a production-sized AUV autonomous underwater vehicle. This is the full-size collection system that we'll be building. That will be tested in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone in the Pacific Ocean in 2026. And then we see ourselves being in a position, regulation permitting, to be operating and pulling materials into the value chain as early as 2027. So really just in summary, clearly there is a big problem around critical metals. We see the deep sea minerals and deep sea resources being a key part of the solution to overcome that problem. There is a pathway for collecting that resource, and Impossible Metals technology really can be the best solution for going and collecting that material. So please reach out. Happy to chat throughout the rest of the event. And if we don't catch up now, reach out on LinkedIn or email.